stopped in the visitor center, picked up our NASA Lucy swag bag. Comes with stickers, a pen, patches, coloring book for the kids. Great stuff. We're on our way to Kennedy to one of the briefings for the NASA Lucy launch. And we're getting ready to go across the causeway. As you can see, it's so beautiful. You can actually even see the launch pad over at a distance. Over there. It's a nice drive.
And nice weather. Even though there are clouds, they're just kind of an overcast, but it's supposed to be in the 80s today.
Yeah, it's a nice day today to go to the flight center. Oh, my hand did the... So, it's kind of cool. On our way. We'll check back in with you and let you know what's going on.
The Kennedy Space Flight Center in Florida. That's a shuttle bay right there.
You can see the shuttle bay from a distance all the way across the water there. We got tickets for the Lucy briefing. It's at the Education Center. And we are on our way there now. And Danya Douglas will be speaking at this particular briefing. So we're excited for her. Get excited.
I'm Danya Douglas Bradshaw, and I'm the Lucy Project Manager.
Garvey said, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." Perpetual curiosity drives us to study the past and to examine our present in order to understand our future. Whether it's you or me tracking and recording our family history, or Dr. Johansson studying the various aspects of human evolution, or Lucy surveying the primordial remnants from the origin of our solar system, we each play an important role in preserving the entire human race. Thank you.
Those human origins, and I always wanted to say that, but it's really not rocket science. Anyway, I am thrilled to be here and very excited. In fact, I've already got goosebumps thinking about tomorrow morning's launch. I hope I can sleep a few hours. And I want to thank everyone at NASA, everyone at the Southwest Research Institute, everyone from this visitor center, and all of you for coming out this morning to hear about my discovery that really, in terms of what she means to me, is that she has united all of us together as humans. There's no question whatsoever that every one of us in this audience, regardless of what we look like or how we act or what culture or what religion or whatever we have, we all have a common origin, and that common origin leads back to Africa. So we all have African genes in our genome, which is truly exceptional. And to me, what that means from a philosophical point of view is that we are united by our past, we're united as we are today, and as we move forward as a species, we must do this in a united fashion so that we will be good ancestors for our descendants. Who traveled to Africa, and I bet there are people in the audience who have gone, but we had dinner recently, Robin and I, with someone who said, "Well, I want to go back to Africa, it gets into your blood." I said, not only is it in your blood, not only is it in your bones, it's in your genes. So it is a very special place to go. Ethiopia is an extraordinary country, a very large country, a country that is just at the end of the Great Rift Valley. And there is a triangular area up near the top. This little site of Hadar comes in. That's where Lucy was found. It's just one little pinpoint, if you can imagine, on global Earth. An anonymous little spot that no one had ever actually been to. So these explorations that we undertake take us to places that nobody ever goes to. And it's very interesting that I will never be able to go back in time, obviously, to the time when Lucy walked along the edge of the lake and died for one reason or another. Maybe she was dragged in by a crocodile. I understand that happens in Florida with alligators from time to time. And just as the Lucy mission will be going someplace that I doubt any of us in this audience will ever go to. So there's some symmetry there between these two explorations. And what this launch tomorrow will do, it will bring us to the present and it will lead us into the future. It's an extraordinary opportunity. So Ethiopia is an incredible country. I also urge any and all of you, when you go to Africa, to visit Ethiopia. It was the first place where Christianity came, in the northern part, where there are incredible historic monuments and so on. And it really possesses or preserves the most complete, oldest record of human evolution going back to almost 7 million years ago, right on up to the origins of Homo sapiens. We are all Homo sapiens in this room. So it really occupies an extraordinary place geographically in terms of our search. And it's beautiful. I hope it will soon be 50 years since that epic morning when I went out with a graduate student of mine, Tom Gray, and I was walking along. Is that me who did that? Okay. So you see some people down below there. They're screening the sand. That's pretty much the exact spot where I found the first bone. It was a little piece of elbow. They say elbows stick out. So it was this part of the elbow. And I knew from all the hours I had spent in the anatomy lab and studying osteology and studying bones and studying teeth and so on, but I knew from the shape of that bone, from its anatomy, that it was not an antelope, it was not a baboon, it couldn't be any other kind of mammal. And I felt it came from a human ancestor. And as I kneeled down with my graduate student and looked, there were pieces of a skull. And then I looked up that slope behind people. And, well, that's the first bone I found right there. It's called the ulna. It's what allows you to flex and extend your arm at the elbow. And here you see, of course, you know he's a graduate student because he's doing all the work there. And I'm much thinner in those days, and tan standing in the background, and we're collecting pieces of the skeleton, just wrapping them up in toilet paper, which cushions them, and putting in little markers all along the way so we could map these in and know the relationships between these bones. So we reconstructed this. It was probably a beach where Lucy was walking. We didn't know her name was Lucy, of course. Where this early human ancestor was walking. There's one little puncture mark in her pelvis. Maybe she was going down to get some water or collect turtle or crocodile eggs or crabs. We have fossil crabs from this layer. And she was caught unawares and dragged into the lake and settled to the bottom of that lake. It was preserved. And so that's what the site looked like. I was just simply walking back to my Land Rover thinking about a swim in the river because it was so hot, and I glanced over my right shoulder, and there it was. If we had not found her that day, we probably would not have gone back to the specific spot because there were not many fossils there. So here she is. I think you all recognize her. And the evening that we were celebrating in camp, the discovery, I had a little Sony tape recorder with me, and I was playing Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, being a big Beatles fan, still am. And Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was playing. And someone on the expedition, one of the expedition members, Pam Alderman, said, well, you think this is a female dog? I said, I do, because it's so small. She said, well, it could be a child. I said, no, because the wisdom teeth are erupted. So it was a full adult, even though it was only about 3.5 feet tall. It was a fully matured adult. And she said, well, if you think it's a female, why don't we call her Lucy? And I said, no, I can't call her Lucy. I said, I'm a scientist, you know. We have to have some name like Australopithecus afarensis. And it was too late, because the next morning at breakfast, everybody said, you're going back to the Lucy site? You think you'll find more of Lucy? What was Lucy when she died? And all of a sudden, she became known as almost a person. After 3.2 million years, she was sort of reanimated when she eroded out of that sandstone at about 3.2 million years. And so she has become, in many ways, the benchmark by which so many other discoveries are compared to. Older than Lucy, younger than Lucy, less complete than Lucy, more complete than Lucy, bigger brain than Lucy, or whatever. And if you go there on, say, go to Ethiopia as a tourist, you will see there is a stone marker there in the English language, our language, in Amharic, which is a national language of Ethiopia. It's the only African language. It has its own script. And also in honor of the local people, the Afar people who live there. These are nomadic tribesmen. It's written in Afar. Well, one of the things that was really missing was the fact that here she was found in Ethiopia. And she had an anglicized name. And there was a director general from the Ministry of Culture who came out very excited right after the discovery. The news got back to Addis Ababa, and people from the Ministry of Culture came out. And he said, she deserves an Ethiopian name. And I said, well, I bet your Amharic's better than mine. And he called her Dinkanesh, which means you are wonderful. So she has a Amharic name, Dinkanesh. She has an English name, Lucy, and she has an Afar name also, which is Halomali, which means more or less, you are wonderful. So the
I just can't get enough of the NASA swag. I guess it's just in my blood. That's how I end up in the NASA store all the time. Getting I want some good stuff here.
There you go. Ready?